right. Good afternoon, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you guys? Fine?
Fine, sir. Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How about you?
I'm fine, thank you. All right, we're going to continue our lesson today. Can you hear me? How about my voice? Is good?
Yes, very clear.
Okay, good. Okay, let's start the lesson with pray. Pray, begin. Amin. All right, as usual, I'm going to share the attendance link and let's do the attendance first. Okay, you can go to your chat room and please fill in the attendance. Anyone absent? Yusuf still sick? Anyone know? Yusuf is not in the classroom, right? From the morning?
Yes, yes.
Yes, he is sick. I get the information from Pak Bayu. It's already 2 days. He didn't join the lesson, isn't it? Yeah. All right, guys, let's start now. How many students? Only 12 students in the classroom now. Still, we have so many students outside the classroom. No problem. We don't have to wait for them. Okay, now it is chemistry lesson 10. Yeah, video conference, August 6, 2020. Okay. Let me check first the watch, so we will not late to finish the lesson. Okay. Okay. What we are going to do in lesson 10? In lesson 10, still I'm reviewing about the matter and its classification because last lesson we couldn't finish this topic. We came to the half of the topic about this. So hopefully today we are going to finish this topic. And guys, will be the last topic for this chapter. Yeah, and this is hopefully will be the last meeting for this chapter. So for next week, 1 hour, which is the non-video conference hour, there will be a unit task for you. The first unit task about the first topic. So be ready for the unit test. Okay. So this is the last meeting for chapter 1 about the introduction to chemistry. Okay. Okay, the objective is still the same. We are going to learn about the nature of the chemistry to the scientific method, dealing with the atom, with the molecules, and all the thing about matter. Okay, I think you remember this chart. Last meeting, we discussed a little bit about this chart. And today I'm going to review again and try to make clear some of the point, because last meeting we don't have so much time to explain in detail again. So in this meeting, I'm going to explain you a little bit about this chart. As remember that this chart is talking about matter and its classification. We can classify the matter into two groups, which is called as pure substance and mixture. In bahasa we call this one as zat murni dan campuran. Okay, the most confusing thing is about the pure substance, because some of the criteria is almost the same like the mixture. Maybe you can be confused about the pure substance with the mixture. Okay, so we are going to see in detail again about this one, and we know that pure substance can be classified also into two, element and compound. In bahasa we call this one as unsur and senyawa. So we're going to start with the elements, which is part of pure substance. Yeah, element is, we know that it is a part of pure substance. It's under the pure substance, the element. And last lesson we said that element is a pure substance that contain one kind. This is important. One kind of atom. Yeah. So if the atom is only one kind mean one type. Yeah, only one. So that's why it is become an element if it is only one kind. The example of the element is here we have periodic tables in chemistry. In the periodic table there are symbols of element, and all the symbols are represented the atom of the element. For example, we have hydrogen, we have lithium, we have boron, we have carbon. All of them are the element because all of them consist of one kind of atom. So I gave you this example, the iron. Iron itself is the element because iron is only containing one type of atom, which is iron atom. Iron atom is denoted by Fe, this one, Fe, Fe, yeah, in bahasa, or it is coming from the name from the Greek language, ferrum. So it is shortened, become Fe, and it is in English we call this one iron. Yeah, this iron atom is this one. So this rod of iron is containing so many number of iron atom here. A huge number of iron atom, but all the atom are the same kind. All the atom are the same type. All of them are iron atom. This is another example, sulfur. Like I told you that this is the one that used in the solve for the medical solve. The sulfur, the symbol is S. This S is the sulfur. The sulfur also containing only one type of atom, which is called as sulfur atoms. In 1 gram of sulfur atom, for example, there are a huge number of atoms there, but the atom, all of them are the same type. And I gave you another example, oxygen, for example. Generally, we know oxygen with the formula O2. Although it is O2, O2 means that there are two oxygen atoms combined together. Two oxygen atoms combined together to form oxygen element, O2. The elemental form of the oxygen is O2. There is a combination here, but it doesn't mean that it is a combination. It doesn't mean that it is a mixture. No, this combination, as we know that two same type of atoms. All the atom that combine is oxygen. So one oxygen atom combined with another oxygen atom, and they will become oxygen element. So because the type of the atom is still the same, there are still one type or one kind of atom. So that's why this elemental form of the oxygen is called as the elements. The same thing with the hydrogen. Hydrogen in the universe, there is no hydrogen only one H, no. Hydrogen always H2 in the elemental form. So two hydrogen atoms combine together to form the hydrogen element. And still they are element because the type of the atom are the same. They are the same type of atom. So the most important thing here is the type or the kind of the atom must be the same, must be one type. Yeah. If it is one type or one kind of atom, then it is become element. But we have another thing which is called as a compound. Now compound is a little bit different. Compound is also a pure substance. But in compound, there are two or more different elements. Two or more, yeah, at least two. Two or more different elements combined together in a fixed proportion. Now, I told you before that maybe you confuse the compound with the mixture because two different elements combined together, it can be a mixture, yes. If two elements combine together, it can be a mixture, it can become a mixture. And also it can become a compound. So you may be confused which one will become compound, which one will become mixture. The one that have fixed proportion, perbandingan yang tetap, the one which is have fixed proportion, it is called a compound. And compound is not a mixture. Compound is a pure substance. What does it mean fixed proportion? Fixed proportion means, like this example, for example, this water molecule. It is containing two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. And all the water molecule will have like this, one oxygen, two hydrogen. So there is a fixed proportion here. If there is a fixed proportion, then it will become compound. Another characteristic of compound is it is a unique set of chemical and physical properties. The properties is unique. What does it mean if the properties is unique? Unique means it's different from the origin properties. It's different from the original properties. So for example, here, oxygen and hydrogen have their own properties. Hydrogen is a gas and is easily to burn. Oxygen also have its own properties. Oxygen is also a gas and it is also easily burned. But when oxygen and hydrogen come together in a fixed proportion to form a water, now oxygen and hydrogen will lose their properties. Oxygen and hydrogen lose the properties and they will become new properties, which is different from its origin. So the new properties we call as the properties of water. The properties of water different from the properties of hydrogen and oxygen. So it is a new properties. So if there is a new properties, then it is also become a compound. So for become compound, two things are important in the combination. First, there must be a fixed proportion. And the second one, there must be a unique set of chemical and physical properties, which is different from its origin. Yeah, it is the same example from salt. I gave us this example last meeting. Salt, NaCl, garam, salt. Yeah, it is formed from two different elements, sodium and chlorine. Normally, sodium is a very dangerous substance and is easily exploded when you put it into the water. Chlorine is also a dangerous substance. Chlorine is poisonous gas, so it can make you die and it can be fatal for your body. But when sodium and chlorine come together, to form NaCl, which is salt, now the properties of sodium and the properties of chlorine are changing. Sodium and chlorine lose their properties. properties. So that's why NaCl now it is not dangerous. NaCl is the one that your mom used for cooking, and maybe you put it also or you eat it also for your food. So that's why it is not dangerous. Why? Because the salt is already have a new properties which is different from its origin. So that's why sodium chloride or salt, it is also a compound. So the point is, for compound, there must be a fixed proportion and a unit set of chemical and physical properties. Okay? How about the mixture? Yeah? Mixture are different. Mixture also combination. It's like a compound. It's like compound. It's combination of two or more substance. It can be two or more element. As we can see here, compound also a combination of two or more different elements. Mixture also can be combination of two or more element or any other substance, not only element. Yeah. But the difference is in mixture, there is no fixed proportion. There is no new properties. The properties is still the same. And they are not chemically combined. Actually, in mixture, there is no chemically combined, not like in compound. In compound, you see here, they are chemically combined. As you can see here, they are chemically combined. But in mixture, there is no chemically combined. What does it mean? For example, this dirty water. Dirty water is contained of what? What do you think?
Water and sand.
Water and soil.
Soil.
Water and soil.
Can you separate the soil from the water in dirty water?
Yes.
Yes.
Very easy to separate them, right? Maybe in your home also, if your ledeng or your PDAM water is not clean, your mother may be using filter in the tap, right? To filter the water so it become clean. So that's why this dirty water, they are not compound. Dirty water is not compound because you can easily separate them and they are not chemically combined. And there is no fixed proportion. How many water and how many soil is not really important. It is no fixed proportion. So that's why dirty water is example of mixture. Yeah. Another one, what is this? Seawater. It's contained of what? Seawater.
Salt and
water.
Can you get the salt from the seawater?
Yes.
we can.
Yes. Of course. There's industry, right? Industry to produce the salt from the seawater by using the what we call it distillation. You can get the salt from the seawater. So easily you can do it. Yeah. So that's why seawater is also a mixture because they're not chemically combined. Yeah. So that's the difference between a compound and mixture. And we know that compound and mixture are different. Both of them are matter, but they are different. Compound and mixture. Compound belong to the pure substance, but mixture is not belong to the pure substance. Element and compound, both of them are we call as a pure substance, but mixture is not. Now, when you look at the atomic scale or the microscopic scale of the substance, you will see that like this. In the pure substance, there is a molecule and atom. For example, here helium atom, only one type of helium atom. In here, it is also one type, but it is not one type of atom now. It is one type of molecule. It is not atom anymore. It is become molecule. Molecule is a group of atom. Yeah, group of atom we call as a molecule. So water is consists of molecules of water, not atoms of water. There is no what such a word atoms of water. No, molecules of water. Why? Because water consists of two elements, hydrogen and oxygen. Although they will become one type, walaupun mereka jadi satu jenis, but it consists of two different elements. So now it has become molecule, not become atom. So that's why pure substance contain one kind of atom or one kind of molecule. Chlorine gas is also a molecule like this, but as you can see here, the type of the atom are the same, so it's become element. But CH4 here have one carbon and 4 hydrogen. It is chemically combined. It is now two types of atom. As you can see, two types of atom. But in CH4, there will become one kind or one type of molecules. So that's why it has become compound in a fixed proportion. They combine in fixed proportion. So element and compound is belong to the pure substance. For the mixture now, we have two types of mixture also. The first one is homogeneous mixture. The second one is heterogeneous mixture. What does it mean, homogeneous mixture? Homogeneous mixture means that when you mix two substance and they will become uniform. Uniform means it's like the same type. For example, if you mix the sugar with the water, yeah, imagine that you have sugar and you have water, you mix it, sugar and water, what will happen? The sugar will dissolve into the water and you will see only one type of mixture, right? Can you see the sugar when you mix the sugar with the water? Can you see the sugar?
No.
Of course not, right? Sugar dissolve in the water, sugar become uniform with the water. So this type of mixture, we call as a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture. But we have another type of mixture we call as a heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture are different. For example, if you mix sand and water, can the sand dissolve in the water?
No.
No.
Sand cannot dissolve in the water. So when you mix the sand and the water, you still can see the sand, isn't it? You can easily see the sand because they are not dissolved. The sand are not dissolved in water and they are not really mixed. They are not uniform. So that's why it is called as a non-uniform composition. This type of mixture is called as heterogeneous mixture. Yeah, this type of mixture is called as a heterogeneous mixture. How about if I have coffee with water? If I mix coffee with water, what do you think it is become homogeneous or heterogeneous?
Homogeneous.
Suspension.
Homo or hetero?
Suspension.
Middle.
Suspension.
When you mix the coffee with the water, can you see the uniform formation there? Or after you finish drink the coffee, can you see still the ampas of the coffee?
Yes. You can see.
Right? The sedimentation of the coffee. So they are not really mixed actually. The coffee with the water is not really mixed, right? So it is become homo or hetero?
Hetero.
It is
Maybe.
homogeneous mixture. Good. So homogeneous mixture must be uniform. Yeah, you cannot differentiate which one is sugar, which one is water. You cannot differentiate. If you still can differentiate, then it has become heterogeneous mixture. Good. Now we come to the element now. Element, actually, I can divide the element also into two classification. Element can be metal and can be non-metals. What is in bahasa metals?
Logam.
Yeah,
Logam.
logam.
Non-logam.
For example, carbon. Carbon is metal or non-metal? Carbon. The one that you use for pencil.
No.
No.
It is
Non-metal.
or metal.
Non-metal.
It is non-metal. Good. Iron.
Yes.
Horse.
Metal.
Iron. Iron is
Metal.
Metal.
sulfur. I get the number of sulfur. It is metal or non-metal?
Non-metal.
Non-metals.
Non-metal.
Actually, it's easy to differentiate between metal and non-metal. They have properties here. Metal is generally bright metallic luster. So it is mengkilat in bahasa Wiko. Bright metallic luster. Non-metal, it is generally non-lustrous, various in color, tidak mengkilat, and they have very different color. For example, sulfur, the color is yellow, as you can see, and we have also different color of non-metal. For metal, generally they have only a bright color, yeah, mengkilat. Metals are generally solid, are easily deformed. The solid are easily deformed, mudah dibuat sesuatu, deform, ya. For non-metal is difficult because it's generally brittle. Brittle is easily to break, mudah pecah, easily to break. So it's difficult to form something from the non-metals. Non-metal, it can be hard. Yeah, there is also non-metal which is hard. Actually, carbon is not soft, is not hard. Yeah, but we can say that carbon is soft. But also we have non-metal which is hard, but mostly they are soft. Yeah, like sulfur. Sulfur is also soft. Carbon, I told you, it is also soft. But they are difficult to form something from the non-metal because it's brittle, easily to break. Yeah. Metal is generally good conductor of heat and electricity. Non-metal, it is poor conductor of heat and electricity. Yeah. Metal is good conductor, but non-metal is poor conductor. For this one, I'm going to explain this one later on about the valence electron. It is related for the next topic. Okay, now we come to the physical and chemical changes. Okay, physical and chemical changes is also important. We have two types of changes. As we know that chemistry is learning about the changes, we have two types of changing, physical changes and chemical changes. Perubahan fisika and perubahan kimia. What do you understand about physical changes and chemical changes? Can you give me an example of physical changes? Perubahan fisika. Anyone? Say something.
Perubahan bentuk. Perubahan bentuk.
Good. Perubahan bentuk. Changing the
Perubahan
shape.
wujud.
Changing the
Perubahan
shape.
wujud.
Good. It's also physical.
Aliran energi.
Energy changing, you mean?
Aliran energi.
What do you mean aliran energi?
Kayak seperti lampu menyala gitu.
Okay, it's also physical changing. Okay, good. So mostly to understand it easily, as you can see here, physical changing, like your friend said, it is generally only changing in the shape or changing in the state. Wujud ya, bentuk dan wujud, state and shape. But in chemical changing, chemical changes, it is changing different things. We're going to see what is changing in chemical change. Okay, a change that occurs is now physical changes. A change that occurs without changing the identity of the substance. So the red one is important, without changing the identity of the substance. For example, if I broke my glass, it is physical or chemical?
Physical.
Physical, right?
Physical.
There's no changing in the identity of the substance. And no new substance are formed. Tidak ada zat baru yang terbentuk. No new substances are formed. So if I break the glass, it is still glass. It is not become a different substance. Yeah, so it is physical changing. Generally, this changing in size, shape, and color is a physical changing. For example, when you're saving your pencil, it is physical changing. Torn the paper, it is also physical change. Crush the ice, it is also physical change. Sugar dissolved in water, it is also physical change. So when the sugar dissolved in water, actually it is only physical changes. Painting a wall, it is also physical changing. So when you change, for example, from the water into the vapor, dari air menjadi uap, water into the vapor, or from the water into the ice, it is also only physical change because it is only changing the state of the substance, not the substance itself. How about the chemical changing? Chemical changes is a change that occur that cause the identity of substance to change. Something new is formed. So if in physical changing is the identity is stay the same, in chemical changings, the identity of the substance are changing. Yeah, and new substance are formed. New substance with new properties are formed. So the new substance will have a new properties. Okay. Example here, it can be a color appears, new color appears. It can be when you burn something here, heat or light or sound is deliberated or given up from the changing. Bubble gas, sometimes it can also appears in the chemical changing. Solid precipitation is also can be appear in the chemical changings, and generally in the chemical changing you cannot go back to its origin. You cannot make it reverse. For example, if I burn wood, for example, then it will become ash, abu. Yeah, can you reverse the ash to become the wood again?
No.
No.
Yeah, that's why burning the wood is a chemical changing. So new color appears, bubble or fizzing are also appear, precipitate or solid material like this at the bottom of the mixture can be formed, and heat is produced, light is produced, sound is given off, and difficult or impossible sometimes to reverse, to go back to its origin. So if this one you see in a changing, then we call this changing as chemical change. Example of chemical changing: wood burning, metal rusting. Yeah, for example, we talked about the rusting before. If something is rusted, so it's difficult to make it normal again. Generally, you're going to throw it out when it is rusted because it's impossible to become reverse of that one. Food digesting, gasoline burning, cake baking. For example, your mom is making a cake from the welts, for example. So it's difficult to reverse the cake into the welt. Yeah. So cake baking is also example of the chemical changing. So this is the last slide, and will be the last topic for this chapter. So we finish this chapter. Do you have any question? We still have 5 minutes. Do you have any question about this one? No? Everything is clear? So here, what we see today, we see that matter and its classification, right? We can classify the matter into how many? Matter into
Two.
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 The first one is
Pure
Pure
substance
substance and
Pure
mixture.
and mixture.
pure substance can be classified into what?
And mixture.
Element and
Element and compound.
Element and compound. Good. Mixture can be classified as
homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture.
Here, element also can be classified into element. We classified also element into
So metal and non-metal.
metal and non-metal. Good. And also we learn two types of changing. It is physical change and chemical change, right? Physical change, generally, it is no new substance will form and you can reverse to original shape or original type. But in chemical change, new substance will be produced. When you undergo the chemical change, you will have a new substance and it will be different from its origin, and it's also difficult or sometimes it's impossible to reverse to its origin. So this is a chemical change. So this is the last. Okay, so mostly if we want to conclude this chapter, what we see from the beginning, we see about the matter, right? Example of matter, and then after that, what we see? Anyone remember?
Branches of chemical.
Branch of chemistry, right? We learn about chemistry, so we
Yes.
branch of chemistry, and we learn about the safety lab,
Scientific method.
lab
And,
equipment,
yes.
and then scientific method. Good. This is also one point. Scientific method, which is because
Introduction.
what?
Introduction to laboratory.
Yes, introduction to laboratory, safety rule, and equipment. And the last one we learn about the this one, yeah, about the matter and its classification. So this are all the things that we learned in the first chapter. So we finished this first chapter. Please try to solve the question from your book. I think you have the books there, the Indonesian books, and also maybe have different books. Also, try to remember the post test that I gave to you, and also pre-test. Yeah, those questions are really important. Yeah, you can watch the solution. You can watch the explanation about the question in the YouTube, so you can see also why did you do wrong, for example. So there are explanation about the question there. So next week in the first hour video conference, we're going to continue the lesson with the second chapter. I think it will be about the structure of atoms. And then the second hour in the non-video conference lesson, we will have the post test. Sorry, not the post test, the unit test. Now, today, as usual, we're going to have the post test at 3:30. So stay tuned after you finish your lesson, the 8th lesson. 3:30 there will be a post test about the topic that we learned today. I think that's enough for today. Do you have any question? No? Okay. If not, that's enough for today. See you next week. Please study for the unit test. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me via WhatsApp or any other media. And inshallah, I'm going to answer your question. If it's not directly, maybe you have to wait for my answer. Okay? Thank you. See you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, sir.